Keita, when are they due to resume full training? And I take it Salah is okay with his wrist.
Yeah, Hendo feels really good, but is probably start of the week he will be back in training. Naby, end of this week. Doesn't make a big difference match-wise, but it's that's how it looks. Mo, yeah, it's nothing really serious. It's a kind of not sure, inflammation in the tendon here. So it's and that's pretty much all. It was only protection. The pictures you saw were only protection, so it has no influence.
You've never lost to Arsenal in the Premier League. You've taken 11 points from a possible 15 against them. But are they a different proposition under Unai Emery?
A different proposition every year. Well, it was that's how it is, and they did. I also. I remember a lot of good games or tight games against them. It was really proper football always. So were always really big challenges for us. And if you would have asked me, I wouldn't have known that we have 11 from 15. So that's only I knew that it was always hard work, and that will be the case again. So that's the situation. They are really strong. Unai Emery, of course, had the big task to come in after Arsene Wenger, after felt like 50 years. Arsene Wenger at Arsenal, and I don't know another manager of Arsenal before when I came in then. And so he did brilliant. We have to admit that. It did really well. And after a tough start, they started an impressive run. That's how it is. And hopefully they're not still in it, to be honest. But it will be a very, very interesting game for sure. They are good organized and clear plan, good in counter attacks. Yeah, all what they can do quick is outstanding, but good in small spaces as well. So it's a tough game, and nobody made them a present and gave them points, so they had to work for it, and they deserved it. And so we need to be ready for that for sure.
We've seen over the past few years how significant games against the big six rivals are. But Arsenal this season so far haven't taken a point against the big six. But that said, do you see them then under Unai as a big threat to those top four positions?
Of course they are. As the meeting facing at the first match day, Man City is can be maybe an advantage because they are not tuned as well. But both teams were not probably how we weren't at the first match day. That's and then going to Chelsea, it's a nice idea of the guy who made the fixtures, that's it's possible and likely that you get no points from that, so we should not think about that too much. But all the other games were very difficult, and they played them in a quite impressive way. Won all of them, apart from the Crystal Palace game, which they could have won, obviously. So we have to judge that. But actually, how they played 3 months ago or 2 months ago is not too important. So the last 2-3 matches we took them for analyze, and I think they gave us enough information about that. And of course, they are a threat for everybody. That's how it is.
Sorry, just with Jordan and Naby, I think we maybe expected them back now. So has there been any setback, or is it just taking longer than you expected, or are they on track for you? How?
I don't know how it. In football, not too serious injury takes still 2, 3, 4 weeks. So that's then we were lucky if you have an injury like that. That only means in the Premier League 20 games. So that's how it is. So that's the situation. No, they are completely in time, if you want, and so it's like we expected it, and so there is no. We didn't have to rush it. Actually, we couldn't, but there was no reason for trying it, and so that's all. They were. Yeah. If the next game would be next Friday, then probably both would be fit. But now the next game is on Saturday, and then the other one on Tuesday. So that could be a bit tight.
I know you said matches between yourselves and Arsenal have been tight and hard work, but you've also provided an awful lot of goals when you've played in your role in.
Didn't like all of them, to be honest.
Why do you think that was, though, and will that change now that Unai Emery's there?
It doesn't look like, to be honest, that they score a lot of goals and they are really good offensively. So it's up to us. So we have to see how this game will develop. I think two very offensive-orientated teams. It always can happen, doesn't have to. How we saw in the Man City game when we played Man City, but it should be possible at least. And so we have to make sure that they don't score. But will be a big challenge because they have all the different tools to do so. It's this. Being creative, they have rhythm demanders in midfield, they win balls back high on the pitch, they have the speed to use pretty much each little mistake you make, and that's the situation. So I said a few times before other games, like against teams like City, Tottenham, and Chelsea, Arsenal. It's really nice to prepare them. It's difficult, but it's nice because you need the full package by yourself of football. It means that you're really ready to cause them problems with the ball, to cause them problems when they have the ball and all that stuff. So they will probably do something similar during the week, and so that makes it so interesting.
Jurgen, do you see any difference? Oh, hello. Do you see any differences though since Unai's come in compared to Arsene Wenger? Because I mean, you spoke about when you came here turning doubters into believers, and he seems to have turned Arsenal and their fans into believers again, and gone for that all-out commitment. And there doesn't seem to be, those star players. They're all in it together.
Oh, they have a lot of star players, by the way, but yeah. I don't want to compare it, to be honest. It's not my job to do to compare what they did last year. My job is to make sure that I know what they do this year, and that's a football, and not all the stories around. I think Arsene Wenger is one of the best managers in the world. There's no doubt about it. And if sometimes after a very long time the mood in the club changed a little bit, and then it's quite difficult to work against that. I think that was the situation a little bit last year, that people respected him still a lot, well deserved, but on the other hand side they thought maybe now we should change something, and then to change something is only good if you change it for the better. So, and that Unai Emery, all people in football knew how good he is, but I'm not sure that all Arsenal fans were over the moon in the first moment when they heard Unai Emery. So. But that's England a little bit. So you want the poster boys, the boys on the front page of different newspapers in different countries. And when I was in France maybe it's not. Before that, in Spain, in a smaller club, not from the top 2-3, and so then you can go a bit under the radar. But of course not for all the people in football. So I heard it in the interview yesterday. I think that he won eight titles in the last 2 or 3 years, major trophies. So that's pretty big. So it was clear that things will change, and the players know now. That's how it is. If a new manager is coming in, it was the same with me when I came in. All players are immediately out of the comfort zone. That's how it is, because they all have to prove from the first day. It's not only the name, it's the footballer as well, and they used it obviously pretty well.
Jurgen, over a course of the season gone now in the Premier League, 8 wins and 2 draws. How would you assess the way it's gone so far, particularly in view of the fixtures you've played? Tottenham away and won. You should really have won at Chelsea. You've played Manchester City. What's your overall view of the way things have gone so far?
Oh, I love that. We really should have won at Chelsea.
I thought you were the better team.
That doesn't mean automatically that you should win, but thank you very much. I take it. No, so I said it a few times. My big assessment is so far so good, and nothing else. So a quarter of the season is nothing. So it's for me it feels, because there are 3 quarters to come. It's still the start. We didn't do anything special. We expect from ourselves that we win football games. That the boys played in a lot of games really, really well. I know when we started and won the games, but then immediately came up a little bit of discussion. It's not the same way like we played last year, stuff like that. But we stuck to our plan. We did what we had to do, and that's what we still try. So, and I always said, as long as the boys, all of them are fit, or the majority of them are fit, then we have a really good football team, and having a good football team. And playing for a massive club like Liverpool means you go in pretty much each game at least with a big chance and for sure with a big wish to win it. That doesn't make life always easy, but it's we learned to deal with that again after maybe a few years where it was not that obvious that the players can cope with that situation. And that's something that we grew together. We've grown together, so that's really the case. And so we like still working together. Nothing changed in that, and and we want to go for it together for whatever. We don't know, but it's only, how I said, so it's only the start. But the start is good. I don't see that it could have been massively better, but. Could have been still better, and now let's carry on. Let's keep on going and do the right things in the right moment. Play the best football you can play and get results. That's the job, and that's what we love most.
And how much confidence do you think you can draw from the fact that the productivity at the top end of the pitch is beginning to return in terms of 4 goals against Red Star, 4 against Cardiff, and not just the goals, the chances created as well?
We created before that a lot of chances as well, I would say, apart from the Napoli game and maybe the City game, where not a lot of chances on both ends of the pitch. But we created. We only didn't score. And so I wasn't. As long as you create, as a manager, you should not be in doubt about finishing, because the players don't change. Not overnight and not over a week or a month or over a season. That's not how it is. They are the same boys. There's always the chance to improve and develop, of course, but you have to respect that there can be a few drops as well. That's how it is. It's not as a supporter and a journalist, it's pretty easy then to say, well, that was not good enough. But my question is more about how can I help immediately that it will be good enough or even better again immediately. So, and there are different things to do. So, but am I sure that we will from now on score in each game a lot of goals? No, unfortunately not. But I'm pretty sure that we will create chances, and if we do that, then we have the chance to score. That's all I need. And I don't want to have it 38 times a year. Or if it would be 38 times a year, we win 1-0. I take it, of course, but it's the it's an important part of the game that we really score as often as possible. But I don't think we have to think too much about that before the next game against Arsenal, because they don't give that many chances away. But of course, if we do well, then there will be a few, and if we can use them and defend well, then we have another chance to get 3 points. I actually think that's positive enough, optimistic enough to go to Arsenal and to know you have a real chance to do something if you are at your best, and we expect to be at our best all the time. So I'm not in doubt that we will try everything to do so, but still 90 minutes, 95, maybe 100 to go, and exciting.
Just going back to your last meeting with Emery in that final, can you remember anything that he did specifically in that second half which changed the direction of the game, because it all seemed to go your way in that half, in terms of him as a manager?
That's a bit too much influence, but would you give credit to us that we have that much influence? If you think about that, and he couldn't defend us in the first half. We had to help with that, with missing our chances, stuff like that. And we have to check the dressing room again at Basel, what happens in there, because when we came out, the game changed immediately. So it was we had a big influence on that game, I would say. And then from a specific point on, it was a question of momentum. They had it, we lost it, And then we had it in the wrong half of the game, I would say. We had in the first half 100%, but didn't score often enough. In the second half, they had it, and we couldn't strike back in the 63rd game of the season. There was not a lot of fuel back in the tank, to be honest, and or fuel left in the tank. So, and that was it. But it's not. He's a very, very experienced manager, and all the Spanish guys are really competitive. They have this all what you need to be have at least the right amount of aggressiveness, I would say, and that was what happened in that game. But I don't think he had a lot of influence in the first half, and I couldn't take any influence anymore in the second half. That was the problem of that day. But at the end, they won it, we lost it. That's already history.
We've spoken about Hendo and Naby not being available, but the way you've coped without those, the balance of the midfield is still working, and everyone seems to fit in, knows their job, and that midfield seems to gel even when you're missing two key players in that area.
That's what you build a squad for. Huh? So two should always be dealable. It should always be possible to deal with. Of course, the third one would have been already a bit more problematic. It's always about, I've said it a lot of more times, line-up-wise, it's probably never a real problem, but then how can you change during a game, which you should do, actually, because of the intensity of all the games. But yes, it's good for us, of course, that we could deal with that in the way we did, and the boys did really well. We adapted, we changed system a little bit and different things. So it was good to see. There was no doubt about that, to be honest, before that. But now, as the most intense period in the season, I think we had already a few intense periods, is still to come. And we have now a very intense week. Then international break, my favorite part of the year, and then we really go for it. Then it feels like we play until March every second day. So that's the situation for all of us, not only for us, but that's then we need them all fit. So hopefully, we have them all fit, and then we don't look for excuses, what we never do, and try to get whatever we can get.
Yeah, you touched on it there, just that you've been using a new system in the past couple of games, the 4-2-3-1 sort of shape. Do you feel like that's something you might want to stick with going forward, or because do you feel like if you chop and change the shape, do the players lose a bit of rhythm, or is that something you want to stick with going forward?
Well, our players shouldn't lose rhythm. If you change this little bit of a system, it's not that we play only with 2 in the back and 8 up front or something like that. It's really not that massive difference. A system is therefore to bring the players in their most comfortable position. But if they stay in that position, it's quite a boring game. So it's maybe they have to move, they have to do different things. You have to bring them in. You need to create a formation for defending where everybody knows what to do, and for offensive things you need to find a formation where they really are then in their best area on the pitch, and we can do that in different ways, obviously. But it's we have a squad. If you think about the number of midfielders, when they are all fit, for example, then it makes sense to bring a few more midfielders with different offensive jobs to do then, though we are not that stubborn system-wise. We were never, and even without you maybe seeing it, I don't want to blame you for that. But we played already diamonds in this season, and nobody spoke about it afterwards. So it's not a big. For us, it was a diamond. Obviously, it was not that obvious afterwards. Otherwise, there would have been big stories about that. So we try to use the players in the best way and give them the position where they can shine.